Today you're gonna bear witness to my first ever surfboard painting, and it's a mermaid, what else? So here we go. I start by sanding the half shark bitten surfboard. It was broken in half, then I cut the bottom to look like a shark took a bite out of it. After sanding it, I wipe it off with a damp cloth, then cover it with copper spray paint. I've always wanted to paint on copper, so this will be a close trial, I think. I love the glow of this color's producing, it looks really cool. So go slow when you spray paint. This is sped up so I don't bore you. Yeah, you want to get the edges, get the sides. So yeah, that looks good. Welcome to my channel, Shelley J. Cox and SJC Sport Couture. This is where art meets fashion. I'm going to prepare my oil painting palette now. My oil paints consist of titanium white, yellow ochre pale, cadmium red light, bright red, phthalo turquoise, vermilion, French ultramarine blue, permanent mauve, and ivory black. I'll list them down in the description in detail for you too. First, I'm mixing my lightest flesh tones, which come from a combination of yellow ochre pale and cad red light with a touch of titanium white. This will be the base for our flesh. I don't want the flesh to be super saturated, so to tone it down, I'll want to add the complementary color to red orange, which will be a greenish blue. Also, this is the lightest flesh color. I'll make a light valued greenish color to dull it with. This way my value will stay the same, only the color and saturation will change. I'm not sure how the flesh color I've mixed is going to look on top of the copper base, so I'm preparing a pinker flesh and a greener, more neutral flesh. It may even be that I will need to mix some of these together. It'll be fun to experiment and see. She is a mermaid after all, so I'll feel like I can take some artistic license here. Maybe I'll push her flesh towards a purple, or maybe a pink. Alright, mixing some mid-value neutral flesh colors, and now we're going to mix some darks and shadow colors. I want my shadows to be warm, so I'm putting in a good bit of red here. Yeah, that's looking good. So now I'm going to make strings of my starting original colors. This way I can mix color as I go, taking the correct value. This is good to do if you're not mixing a full color palette at the start. And since I'm not using a reference, I'll mix paint as I go, letting creativity run free. Woohoo! Yes! Yeah, our strings are looking good. I've got all the colors, and we're going to need to get the black string as well, because you need that for toning and mixing neutrals, darkening stuff. And that's it, we're ready to paint. You see here my thumbnail sketch of my mermaid on the surfboard. This is all the reference that I have to go by. So I'll pick a starting point about 3/4 of the way up from the bottom and map in my head. I'll use the basic anatomy proportions here to start. The head is in 3/4 view and with a tilt backwards and slightly to the side. This will cause the nose to be slightly foreshortened. I'm using a light neutral flesh color to draw with. And I say draw because I'm not thinking about making brush strokes right now. I'm just thinking about getting the drawing down so that every part of the face looks correct with correct proportions and perspective. Fun with mark making will come later. Okay, putting in some form now. The light source will be coming mostly from the right side and slightly above. This puts the bottom of the nose and the upper lip in a bit of shadow. I'm playing with the form here. It always feels like sculpting to me. I'm just going to push that paint around and pretend like I'm chiseling. That's cool. The copper background is a mid-value, so I can put in my lighter colors and let the copper stand for my mid-value. And then the darker areas I can draw in with the dark color paint that I made earlier. Yeah, that's coming along. Okay, getting some pink in there on the lips. Oh yeah, I'm liking the way that plays with the copper. I wasn't sure how that was going to look. Yeah, I think I'm going to need to make a lot of the flesh tones with some of the pink colors in it. That really looks good. I'm going to be painting in all of the face before moving beyond it. I feel like if the face looks good, I can have more fun, be more free with the rest of the piece. My mermaid's going to have blue eyes. This phthalo turquoise is perfect for getting deep, intense blue eyes. I think too, since the copper is based in the orange family, the blue eyes against it will really pop. You can see here all the dents that are in the board. They won't be so noticeable once I paint over them. Boy, this surfboard's really gotten some use. Alright, I'm loving how this first eye is looking. Since she lives in the water, I want everything to look a bit wet. I find adding touches of bright red around the eyes helps them look more alive. Also, since the head is tilted up, you'll see more of the eyelid in this position. And the right side of the nose is going to be the lightest. And something good to remember is as a form turns away from the light, just before moving into shadow, this is the area that's going to be the most saturated with color. This will be good to remember as we move through the face. Any of the rounded objects, we're going to want to remember to put the color in that way. Okay, I'm blocking in the forehead with the light neutral flesh color. I'll adjust the U once the head has been blocked in fully. Hi, yesterday I filmed all of this painting to this point. So I went to load the SD card into the computer and I thought all of the footage was loaded. So I removed the SD card, checked. I obviously didn't have all the footage loaded, yet I put the SD card back in the camera and formatted it. So all of the painting that happened after the first hour was lost. Here's where I left off yesterday. I made it to this point. We have our lovely mermaid here. I started differently than I normally do since I'm not using a reference. She's just kind of coming to life on her own. And I started off with like a neutrally skin tone color painting, and as I was putting the paint down for the flesh and the face, I realized I needed it to be a little pinker, so I started adding more pinks and reds in there. We did a lovely blue eye. That phthalo turquoise paint really helps the eyes pop if you're doing blue eyes. I just love the way that came out. And she is a mermaid, so I wanted her to be a bit wet and shiny looking. It's going to be fun. I've never painted on a surfboard. It's a half a surfboard. Covered it with some copper spray paint, and we're just going to play with it and see where it goes. But yeah, I lost all that footage, so brings us to this point. So I'll pick up where I left off, and yeah, that's it. All right, let's see what happens today. No more footage loss. So here we go again. I'm putting in the shoulder and upper arm so I can see where I want to pull the hair across. It's fun painting this colorful mermaid hair. With it being underwater, I get to play with the floating pieces. That's really cool. I gotta tell you though, the flow of my paint feels sticky on top of this spray paint. Maybe if I do another one, I'll have to try out a different kind of spray paint. Any suggestions on this would be greatly appreciated. Just let me know in the comments. Thanks. And if you're getting some value out of this video, please let me know with a thumbs up. Also, if you really like the channel, click that subscribe button so you can help grow my channel to become an awesome place to learn about art and fashion and how to make the two work together. You can take this journey with me by letting me know in the comments what type of videos you want to see from me. And I'm thinking about doing a real-time paint along, Bob Ross style, minus the fro. So let me know if you'd like to do that too. Okay, cool, let's get back to painting my mermaid. Since I want her face, and specifically that right eye, to be the main vocal point, I'll blur slightly the areas that are further away. Even her left eye will not be painted as sharply as the right one. And since you can't really see her mermaid tail, with the surfboard being bitten in half and all, I'll put a few scales near her upper body. I've decided the breast and face will have a bit of scales, and I'll pull her tail up behind her head to get some more scales into the background. I'm going to keep the scales in the blue-greens. They're really playing off that copper nicely. I like it. Alright, here you see my original thumbnail sketch after I put it through my PicArt app. I'm not painting it exactly, but I wanted the feeling of my mermaid to be similar. I love the purple and pinks here. I want this painting to have a lot of movement to it. The bottom needs to be chaotic, lots of hair swirling around. I'm working on putting in the darks of the tail so I can come back in on the top and put in some intense highlights. Also, I'm pointing my brush strokes towards the focal point, her face. I'm using my brush stroke direction and saturated color to help guide the viewer's eye through the surfboard. Time to add some more chaos. I'm putting in some bubbles. I don't know what it is about mermaids and bubbles, but I seem to always put the two together. I want the bubbles to look like they're in the foreground, so I'm painting them a bit lighter than the colors behind. And I'm adding a bit of thick black outline, especially at the bottom of the bubble. I like the way this outline gives the bubbles a graffiti style look. I've been super influenced lately by all the amazing graffiti artists that are out there. The bubbles that are closer to the focal point can be a bit sharper and more transparent. Alright, here, let's check out the bubbles. See how we ended up. That one looks good. Like that black outline. That one has some nice transparency. This one really pops forward from the dark background. Yeah, those came out nice. Right on. Yeah, cool. Who doesn't love a mermaid? Especially on a surfboard. Tail time. Okay, let's just kick back and watch some painting here for a bit. All right. More chaos. I'm adding in some waves and splashes. I'm using walnut oil to thin my paint so that it'll flow a bit easier. I need that to make my boldest brush strokes, those bravura marks, the ones that are the most fun to make, the ones you make no apologies for. Feels like the upper part of the painting is boring. I'm gonna add, well, what else? A bubble. I'll position it towards the left side since the others are on the right. This helps keep the composition balanced. I want to make a definite separation from the top of the head and where the tail meets the head. I don't want it to look as if she's growing it out of the top of her head. Maybe that's for another painting. I am pushing my imaginative figure painting genre after all. Another thing I like to do with mermaids is adorn them with sea creatures for jewelry. So here's an armband from a starfish. This also helps to pull the viewer's eye back towards the face. All right, putting in a few finishing touches. Even more chaos. Maybe y'all can help me give this piece a title. Right now I'm just calling it Surfboard Mermaid. So please help me out in the comments. Signatures in. Let's take a look. Needs a little more chaos. I don't know, can you ever have too much chaos? Ta-da! There she is! And here's what my palette looked like by the end. She'll be available in my art shop if you'd like to take her home. Hey, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.